John Kurtz live back at Big 12 Media Days. We are in Vegas. I'm here with TCU head coach Sonny Dykes. Sonny, appreciate you joining me here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, how would you describe what the vibe of your team is coming out of spring ball here into the heat of the offseason?
Yeah, it's been good. I think that we've had two strange years, at TCU, and 2022, I don't think we had very low expectations and ended up in the national championship. And then last year probably had pretty high expectations and had a bad year. So, I think our guys are hungry. I think we're determined. Certainly we weren't pleased with how we performed last year. I think we did a poor job coaching. I didn't do a great job getting our guys ready. So, we're all excited for a little bit of redemption and looking forward to getting back out there and showing people what TCU football is all about.
Well, how tough is it as a coach when you have a season like you had, getting to the national championship game, to get everybody back focused on the same page? How much of a challenge?
It's college football is so different now because you have such tremendous turnover on your roster. And so, you have all these guys that you kind of think, okay, they learned how to do it from these older players. When you look up one day and not many of those guys are there anymore.
Right.
And so it feels like you're almost starting from scratch every year. And I think we probably thought there was going to be a little more carryover than there was going to be, and probably gave some guys a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt than we should have. And it's like anything else, every team's different. You got to start from scratch, really, with every football team. And in today's college football world, there's just not a lot of carryover. And so you got to do a better job of getting them ready, getting them prepared, making sure they understand the expectations, and building a culture in your program.
Yeah. You alluded to how much different kind of the game is right now. There's a lot of changes this offseason. We're seeing revenue sharing on the table here and the growing gap, between the SEC, Big Ten, and everybody else. Just as a coach, how much do you pay attention to it, and just what's your take on where everything's going right now?
It's interesting. I think that there's all you have to do is look around. There's a lot of football programs that have spent a lot of money and tried to buy success. And I think you realize pretty quickly you can't do that. You got to, just because you can write some big checks doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a lot of football games. And I think, the Big 12 understands that. I think this league, there's a lot of coaches in this league that have been successful at lower levels and worked their way up. I think that it speaks to the quality of coaches. I just think that they're really, really good guys, know what they're doing. I think the league is crazy competitive. Week in, week out, you have to play well. You got to bring in your A game every week, or you're going to get beat. The cool thing about this league is in the last 3 years, there's been 6 different teams represent the league in championship games. That's certainly not the case in the Big Ten, certainly not the case in the SEC. It's the same 2 or 3 teams in those leagues. And I think there's just not that kind of parity in those leagues that there is in this league. And I think it's going to create a lot of interest and be good for the league.
Hey, guys, quick message here. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure that you get to offbnews.com. You can get signed up for the Big 12 newsletter. If you're a Big 12 fan, you want all your Big 12 news straight to your inbox, exclusive interviews, my analysis on everything that's going on, offbnews.com. If you're a supporter of the channel, would really appreciate it if you get signed up. Well, I know your AD seems to have a really good grasp on this. Jeremiah Donati has already come out and said, hey, we're gonna hit that full revenue sharing number when it comes around.
Yeah.
How much does it mean to have that kind of support?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about being at TCU is our Chancellor, Victor Vicini, understands the importance of athletics. It's you look at TCU and the way the university's changed over the last 20 years. Success in football has been a big part of that, and the university's grown and is in a great situation right now financially. I think that it's the highest quality students the university's ever had in the past. I think there's a lot of positive things happening right now, and a lot of that, quite frankly, has been driven by success in the football program and consistent success. And so, I think the guys understand that, and they understand that that's a big reason why a lot of students choose TCU is because they want to get a high-quality private school education, but they want to play big-time college football, and there's not many places in the country that do that.
You might be the best coach in the league to ask this question. You've been in the national championship game just 2 years ago. You think this league in the current landscape is capable of winning a national championship?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think that, look, as I said earlier, we kind of had a magical run in 2022, and I don't think there was a lot of people that gave us much of a chance to beat Michigan, and we did. And so, the great thing about the college football playoff is there's so many factors that go into your team's success. Can you stay healthy? Are your best players still playing? Are they still healthy? Can you hit a hot streak? Do you run into somebody that you match up really well against? We felt like going into that game, we matched up really well against Michigan, and there were some things that we could do to them because of some speed things that we had and some matchups that we felt were going to go our way. And so certainly, I think you're going to have to catch it the right way right now. I think the league's got to continue to get better and better and stronger and stronger. And you got to build it up front. I think that to win a championship, you got to be really good on the offensive defensive front. And I think the league has to continue to recruit those type of players and develop those type of players. But then you also look around the league. I mean, there's teams like Kansas State. I mean, year in, year out, they're going to have one of the best offensive lines in college football. And, and they're certainly capable of getting on a run and winning a bunch of games. And, you look at Utah and the success they've had against big programs. And, so there's a lot of teams in this league that have won at a high level. And so, long answer, but I think so. I think we got to continue to get better. But, I'm not going to be surprised at all to look up and see a Big 12 team playing for a national championship.
This is partially just a theory of mine, but do you think there is like a brand building opportunity for Big 12 schools and the fact that you kind of have easier access to the playoff now? If you just win the league, you're going to be in there.
Yeah. And I think there'll be multiple teams in the playoff. I think that what we've got to do as a league is we've got to win those big non-conference matchups. I think that's going to be more important than ever. Is to to go undefeated in the league or in your non-conference games.
Right.
And when you have opportunities to play some of the blue bloods, you got to beat them, and you got to try to beat them on big stages. And again, a lot of teams in this league have had a really good track record of doing that through the years. So we got to continue to do it.
I know we got a chance to see Josh Hoover some last year. Where do you feel like the quarterback situation's at right now?
Good. I wish he would have been a little bit more experienced, had a little more experience, but I think he's everything you're looking for. I mean, he can make the throws. He's certainly got the arm talent, that type of thing. But he's got a real unique leadership skills and abilities, and the guys really respect him. Have a lot of confidence in his ability to go out and perform at a high level, and I think that's a great starting point. It's when your players love your quarterback, really care about him, want to play well for him, believe in him. That's always a good starting point.
Yeah, defensively, I know you make a change. You bring in Andy Avalos. How much of a difference has he made with the defense?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I think the big thing for us is just we got to do a good job of creating turnovers and pressuring the quarterback, and we just didn't do a very good job of doing that last year. Yeah. And Andy's an attacking style of defense, and I love his mentality, love the way he teaches. I think he's got a real systematic approach to teaching defensive football. He's got answers for things. He's got a lot of experience, been very successful every stop of the way, and just really love his energy. And I think, I think we share a lot of the same philosophies and views on things. And so I'm excited to see this defense. I know we made some huge strides in the spring. Guys started playing with a lot of confidence and understanding the system. And our players have had a really good summer. I think the guys have worked harder this summer than they have at any time in the past. And I just think we're a lot further along at this stage than we were a year ago.